What if the news could unite us across our differences? And what's really going on in the halls of power, regardless of who's elected in office? Welcome to the Want to Know Weekly Newsletter, where we save you time by summarizing important news articles buried by the mainstream, revealing both the darker forces shaping society and the best of human goodness, creativity, and collective power. Here are a few excerpts of this week's curated news collection. The partisan culture wars in the media drown out any real coverage on the real threats to children's safety and human rights at the border. Through broken border policies, government agencies have become a child trafficking and exploitation service. Whistleblowers have exposed serious failures in the Biden administration's Office of Refugee Resettlement, revealing that unaccompanied children at the border are being sent to unvetted sponsors, including transnational criminals and traffickers posing as family members. Many of these children are even sent to abandoned properties and non-existent addresses. Worst off, these whistleblowers discovered that many of the children were being trafficked, sexually abused, and forced into slavery. These whistleblowers witnessed hundreds of children sent to unknown fates. Between 2021 to 2023, 85,000 children were unaccounted for at the border, and there is no clear local, state, or federal government agency responsible for searching for these missing children or investigating why a growing number have disappeared. Yet even within the largest housing provider for migrant children in the US, the child sex abuse there by employees is rampant and horrifying. We cover this important and seldom discussed issue in our Mindful News Brief, which you can find on our YouTube channel or in the text description of this video. We've documented the shocking history of government-sponsored human experimentation programs and the threats to body sovereignty and medical ethics. And last year, the FDA quietly introduced a regulation that would exempt thousands of safety committees at various nonprofit and for-profit institutions from obtaining informed consent from participants. This is especially concerning, given current and controversial projects to release millions of genetically modified mosquitoes in the Florida Keys and government-funded studies that manipulate public discourse under the guise of fighting misinformation. Every state in the US requires hospitals to take a small blood sample from newborns to test for genetic diseases. Yet parents don't even know that in some states, those blood samples are kept in a state facility for decades without asking for parents' consent. During this time, states like New Jersey can do whatever they want with those samples. And on some occasions, those baby blood samples were handed to law enforcement without a warrant. Despite the global food system producing enough food to feed everyone, over 800 million people are hungry, and 2 billion have limited access to food. Why is this? Well, our global food system is owned by a handful of powerful corporations that dominate the production and supply of our food. Land acknowledgements are important because they recognize the history of colonization and its impact on indigenous people and their lands. But I never hear anyone acknowledging the current theft of land and nutrients from the soil beneath our feet, in which almost half of all US farmland is owned by powerful billionaires and corporations who drive up land prices, destroy local economies, and pollute the earth. And the multi-billion-dollar farm bill, reauthorized every 5 years to support farmers, the environment, public health, and the economy, consistently fails to meet its original goals due to the extreme influence the agribusiness sector wields over Congress through lobbying and millions in campaign contributions. The news isn't all doom and gloom, and it never is. We know that the US has the worst health outcomes among high-income countries, despite spending the most on healthcare. Yet getting to the bottom of this crisis requires more than traditional drugs and therapies. A transformative movement is gaining momentum: social prescriptions. All over the country, healthcare practitioners, doctors, universities, and insurance providers are connecting patients to a wide range of non-clinical services that boost well-being and community. And they're seeing amazing results, from lower rates of pain, addiction, criminal behavior, and depression, to older adults having better memory and enhanced aging experiences. This practice has already been adopted in more than 20 other countries, and it's been shown to reduce doctor visits and hospital admissions. Insurance providers in New Jersey are even teaming up with the local arts center to offer patients glass-blowing workshops, concerts, This movement can benefit local farmers too, where people experiencing food insecurity or diabetes can be prescribed a voucher for their local farmers market. An older man was diagnosed with depression after his wife died, and through social prescribing, he was connected with a fishing rod and a fishing buddy. Total cost, $20. It didn't take long for him to get off his medication and build deep friendships in his community. Given the current loneliness epidemic ravaging our country and the larger world, what would it be like if our healthcare system implemented this as much as they did with traditional prescriptions and drugs? Check out these news article summaries below for the full stories. And remember, we can't shift the chaos we're in until we name it. When we can recognize what's pushing us in our personal lives and as a society, we already have a degree of freedom from it. Challenging information can paradoxically remind us of the greater good. It is the courage of the people and the love for the common good that bring these injustices to light, fueling open dialogue and constructive action. We invite you to share any comments, thoughts, or questions below. And if you like these videos, please share this widely. We're all in this together.